Hey, what's up, guys? Steve here, Rake and Profit. Got a comment from somebody who lives in a small town. They only have one thrift store, and they said that they will just hang out at the thrift store pretty much all day long. I think they said for like 4 hours or so, waiting for them to bring out new inventory. And if you're new to going to thrift stores, you know, especially at like Savers or Goodwill, they bring out these racks of items. Sometimes they're carts. Goodwill's the big blue racks with bins on them, and they bring out the new inventory. That's where you want to be hanging out because, you know, there's a lot of resellers now who are running through the thrift stores, and you want to look for the newest color, the newest tag, the newest inventory, because that's where the gold is going to be. I don't care how much competitors and competitions in your area. If you can get there when new inventory comes out, you're going to find profits, right? There's profits to be made. So what I want to talk about today is it worth soliciting, lingering, sitting down? The comment that had come through, he says, there's a bench at my Goodwill and I'll just sit there all day long, and he put in caps, I'm going to wait for the inventory to come out. Is it worth doing that? Well, from my experience, I've always found that it's more valuable to travel from thrift store to thrift store. I just feel like, for me, I don't want to just be sitting at a thrift store all day long waiting. I feel like, just from my experience, I've done better jumping from thrift store to thrift store and just finding a jackpot that way. You know, for me, it's just, I've made more money doing that. I don't know what your experience is. I know that some people, like, I guess I would advise, if you have like a Goodwill outlet, it would be worth it sitting there all day, because the outlets, you know, they bring out the gigantic racks of stuff all over. People surround it. It's like you're in a jungle. I made a video way back in the day with picking profits, and we were at a Goodwill outlet in Connecticut, and I mean, it's like a jungle out there. In that case, I would say it's worth it. For me, I wouldn't, because I have multiple thrift stores, but in this comment, they only have one thrift store, so really you have no other choice outside of finding other ways to source. So if it was me, I wouldn't sit there all day long, because I would be sourcing on eBay. I'd be doing online arbitrage. I'd be looking into retail arbitrage. Of course, not everybody's going to have the capital to get into online arbitrage or wholesale or things like that. But I would even be, you know, diving into auctions or flea markets. If I lived in a warm climate, I'd probably be doing a lot more garage sales and yard sales. For me, I just never found it worthwhile sitting at a thrift store all day long waiting. Now, if you're at a thrift store and you know that there's a ton of inventory in back, like sometimes at one of my Goodwills, they have a bathroom, and I'll go back there. You could actually go through the back room and you can take a look and see. And if you see a ton of books or a ton of inventory, whatever you're into, or you see something profitable, first and foremost, I try to get backroom access. I'd say, hey, can I grab that item? Can I go back there and scan the books? A lot of the places in my area don't let me, but I know a lot of people who do get backroom access, or they can pull the item and bring it back. If they won't, then maybe in that situation, it's worth waiting, or at least getting some confirmation from someone working there that they're going to be bringing the inventory. If there's like a little glass window or something, I'll take a peek and look. If I see a bunch, then maybe it's a good situation for you to sit around, especially if there's no other thrift stores, to wait for it to come out. But for me personally, I've had a lot better luck just jumping from thrift store to thrift store, hoping that maybe inventory had come out over the last couple hours. Sometimes I go after items that competition doesn't get after really quickly. So for me, it's a higher ROI to jump from thrift store to thrift store. Also, there's pawn shops, there's consignment stores. Like I said, there's retail stores. There's all different types of locations. So for me, I'm ADD. I have a hard time, sitting and standing still. So for me, it's not a good fit. But if you only have one thrift store in one town, then I guess that's what you're going to have to do if that's the only way you want to source. But don't forget, I'm trying to get it through to everybody's head. Don't box yourself off and think, oh, I live in a small town, I can only make $500 a month, or I live in a small town, there's only one thrift store, I'm screwed, this doesn't work. Think outside the box. I've been making video after video after video, sharing countless ways that you could source inventory if you're willing to think outside the box and do things a little bit differently. One example is putting out wanted ads. You know, you can put them out on Craigslist. You can put them out on Facebook Marketplace. Matter of fact, you can source off of Facebook Marketplace. You know, big shout out to Facebook. You know, now you have the ability to be able to buy items directly off of Facebook, and they'll ship it to you. No longer do you have to go pick up items unless that's one of the conditions of the seller. They might only offer pickup. But now you have this marketplace that's gigantic. You can source items. I've been crushing it lately. sourcing media, sourcing board games, sourcing toys, sourcing a wide array of items off of Facebook Marketplace. I pay for shipping. They ship it directly to me. I've been putting it on Amazon because I prefer leveraging the FBA warehouses because I'm real busy running a couple different businesses. But for you, you can put it on eBay. You can put it on Amazon if you're selling. But yeah, there's tons of opportunities. So with that being said, hopefully this video added some value to you. I would love to know your comments. What would you do if you lived in a small town with only one thrift store? Would you solicit and linger all day long? Would you find other ways to source? Would you move on to wholesale if you had the capital? What would you do? I would love to know in the comments below. Peace.